this might sound like a very basic question, but I have to ask is, why don't they want to engage with human rights bodies? The reason why I ask this is because I feel, I mean, of course, in mature democracies, or I don't know if it happens even now because of the world that is we are living in, but in any case, I would assume that in a mature democracy, if a citizen has rights and those rights are protected by the government, it lets the citizen operate as a citizen and also as a productive member of society, because they are also like self assured, they are confident about what they want, etc. And therefore it is in the interest of the government to sort of protect their rights. But most governments don't look at it that way. Is that a correct way to look at it, and is that why they don't want to engage with human rights bodies?
So the protection is afforded by the constitution, not by the government. The government's
They're
meant
supposed
to,
to, I
parts
mean,
of the
sure,
government are meant to execute.
agreed. I mean, like the ultimately, like if you have to look at it in a very practical way, the constitution
Yeah,
will
so basically
say something. Hmm.
the biggest violator of rights in any geography tends to be the state.
Yeah.
So the problem is, how do you get the state to hold itself to account, and what is the motivation that the state has to do this?
Hmm.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm working in a police thana with 6 people. One of them, I can see them, picking up people without, and during the sort of interrogation, slapping them around.
Hmm.
Okay, I know it's wrong because I know the law, or I
Hmm.
should know that this is wrong. But he's part of my community. I have to have lunch with him afterwards. It's highly unlikely that, and this is at the lowest level. I'm saying
Hmm.
that the higher up you go,
Hmm.
the more if you prefer relationships, if you prefer culture over constitution, which is what happens in India,
Hmm.
that we have diluted the constitution because through culture, and I can give you some specific sort of examples of that if you want. But because of that, we tend to overlook behavior, and the state is okay with violating laws that it is actually been elected to uphold.
Hmm.
And this is why things don't change one government from another. Usually,
But then,
of
what
course,
is the incentive for the government to actually implement the constitution as it's meant to be? Because otherwise, the
nothing.
entire system is broken, right?
No, there is no specific incentive for the state at all, except for the fact that as a community we have determined that democracy and constitutionalism is the right way of going about our lives. The
So if there
state,
is no incentive, then it becomes a little pointless, isn't it? I mean, the entire constitution will become a little pointless.
the thing is that the word incentive is also used with another word, which is disincentive. I'm saying that this is not the classic case of a trade. There is no sort of
Hmm.
trade-off here.
Hmm.
You need to just follow the rules you have, uh, and then it's fine. You don't need to be a
Hmm.
good human being. All you need
Yeah.
to do is not be a bad human being. But we are
Ah.
okay with with saying one thing. What does
Hmm.
saying one thing mean? We have a Republic Day parade where we'll talk about the Constitution. We put our head to the Constitution as the Prime Minister has done. But on the other hand, we don't, neither in letter or spirit do we actually follow it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
and that doesn't change. We need to become a better people to have a better state. Sadly,
Now,
that's
now,
the
now I understand why your book is called the Anarchist Cookbook. Essentially, that is, I think now I get it. I was thinking about this the other day, as in like last week only. This whole Hindenburg thing happened, and now when you were talking about amnesty and you creating reports for, so that the government can be called out about laws that were not being implemented, and sort of trying to do activism in that way. Would you say that Hindenburg is also an activist organization? Because there is definitely a personal gain there also as short sellers.
forget anything at the base level.
Hmm.
Are they taking an action? Yes. Is that action taken towards some specific change? Yes. So I'm
Hmm.
saying there is no question to my mind that, the word activism in some senses is seen as good by everybody. Voting, for instance.
Hmm.
Parties even want voting to become compulsory. That's how good they think it is.
Yeah.
But do they think the same thing of other bits of democracy? That should Article 19 and its freedoms,
Hmm.
free expression, the right to peaceful assembly, are, should these also become, compulsory? That we should all go out on protest against all bad things all the time.
Hmm.
They would not.
Hmm.
They would say that is bad activism. So they would think of only that as being activism and not voting.
And that is where
But
the derision comes in from also.
I don't know if it's derision. If it were derision, then they wouldn't be so thuggish against such people.
Hmm.
My
Hmm.
The activist community, large parts of it is in jail. Large parts of it faces
Yes.
cases. So
Hmm.
that is not derision. Derision work, it would mean that you would just ignore them or laugh at them.
Hmm.
That's not what we're doing.
It's very so, like, I mean, right now, I mean, over the last few years, I think it has always been the case, but more over the last few years, this term activist is becoming very loaded also, because there is also a concerted effort to sort of make people not activists. Like, it's like it's saying that okay, so you are there as a disorganized, non-politically aligned group who is protesting against something. So you are basically bucketed into one category called anti-national, tukde tukde gang, whatever. But also, this word activist is then attached to that, and then sort of the government sort of attacks the group as a whole, right? So that is where I was thinking the derision also comes from public in general. It's like people who are looking at these protests as, oh, ये तो रोड ब्लॉक कर रहे हैं, ओ ये तो फ्री की बिरयानी खाने जा रहे हैं, तो ये कहाँ से
Yeah,
एक्टिविस्ट हो गए.
I think that there is an idea associated with activism
Hmm.
in some measure it's also accurate, that these are
Hmm.
people who are not the kind of focused, get an MBA, you know get
Hmm.
get your car, buy a flat or whatever. These are not such people,
Yeah.
which is true.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't care. they
Yeah.
they do what they do uh, because of the we have people who, like the guy who used to run Amnesty as the Secretary General. So Amnesty very loosely is run like the UN. Each country is separate and sovereign in the work that it does, but there is a secretariat in the UK
Hmm.
where general policies are formed. The guy who was running it there when I joined is this man from Bangalore called Salil Shetty.
Yeah.
I am Ahmedabad,
Hmm.
London School of Economics.
Hmm.
When we would raise money, I would say between Salil and me, we have degrees from IIM Ahmedabad and London School of Economics. Both are his, obviously. But that's the quality. He doesn't care about money. What to do?
Hmm.
But when you
Hmm.
see somebody like that wearing his kurta, you would have a derision for someone like that, because he's not like you, because he doesn't care about getting a bigger car.